The US dumpster fire of an election is appropriately ending with a debate over which side is calling each other garbage. To recap, a comedian at Trump's rally called Puerto Rico garbage, resulting in Joe Biden appearing to refer to Trump supporters as garbage, leading to Donald Trump then dressing up as a garbage man and riding around in a garbage truck. Are we sure we want to buy submarines off these people? Okay. On one of his final campaign stops, Donald Trump declared this week that he will protect women. And if that didn't sound ominous enough, he added,
"I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not."
Trump there demonstrating his ongoing commitment to doing things to women without their consent. Meanwhile, Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, a name you'll hear either every day for the next 4 years or never again, steadied the ship with some more typical political rhetoric, declaring that he and Trump can win, quote, the normal gay guy vote. For all their vitriol towards immigrants who don't speak English, it's astonishing how much of what they say sounds like it was put through Google Translate. In more positive news, American politicians have joined in on the Halloween fun. Governors Wes Moore and Gretchen Whitmer both dressed up as Tim Walz, while Donald Trump dressed up as a convicted felon sex predator garbage man. While America's leaders argue over who called who garbage, Australia's leaders are arguing over who called an airline for an upgrade. The Prime Minister has denied ever asking Alan Joyce for an upgrade. The opposition leader has admitted to asking Gina Rinehart for a lift on a private jet, and Bob Katter has revealed he tried to call Ansett but is still on hold. And no one ever called Bonza, which explains their predicament. An inquiry into Australia's COVID response has been released, finding that Australia fared well compared to other countries, like that one where the garbage man wondered whether the virus could be killed by injecting disinfectant. The report detailed the cost of the delayed vaccine rollout and the effect of lockdowns, but of course the most damning finding was the long-lasting psychological damage from those attempted elbow bumps. Russia has fined Google $20 decillion US for blocking Russian YouTube channels. If I were Google, I wouldn't walk past any open windows, or tabs for that matter. For those who don't know, aka everyone, 20 decillion is 20 followed by 33 zeros. We haven't seen this many zeros since the Olympic judges revealed their scores for ray gun. That's the 6:57 p.m. news. I'm Mark Humphreys.
Welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard podcast, where everyone should be seen and heard. And my lovely co-host, Miss Kenneth. How was your Halloween, and what do you think of that clip?
So greetings. I don't do Halloween. I don't do Thanksgiving. I don't do Christmas. I don't do Easter, if that's any indication of who I am. Thank you for asking. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Thank you. And what did I think of that clip? I couldn't determine whether he was a newscaster, hired to bring news to the public, or if he was doing a tryout for Saturday Night Live.
That sounded like satire, and I think it could have been like the satire news segment on Saturday Night Live, but it was funny. It was true.
It was true. I don't debate whether there's validity or not. It was true. However, if I want to look at the news, I want to look at the news and I want to know what's going on. If I want to have some satire, then I go and I look at Saturday Night Live or any of the late night shows, be it, Seth or Jimmy or
Kimmel, yeah.
Somebody. I can get my laugh on there. I resent that somebody paid this man and this is what he produced. I'm upset about that. We don't like to listen to the news as it is. And when it's being presented like that, that's just another reason for me not to even bother to look at and or listen to the news. That's my take on it.
Well, I hit the wrong tab, but I wanted to open up with this one. This is like one of the MAGA white supremacists that supported Trump, and he is having a grand meltdown here. I think I'm gonna put it on this one. But let's listen to what Nick Fuentes says here.
Garbage. And at the Trump rallies, they're yelling, trash for Trump, trash for Trump. And I saw other people. I saw white guys. I saw Hispanic guys inside trash cans jumping out of them with Trump signs. White guys with garbage bags that say trash for Trump 2024. And that was kind of like, to me, that was the moment when I realized Trumpism was a cult. That was the moment when I realized liberals are right. That was the moment when I realized it has gone too far. It is Frankenstein's monster. We have created a golem. It is a problem. You know, for years, liberals said, it's a cult. You're in a cult. And I said, well, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. It is a cult, and we are in it, and you are going to jail. That's how I felt about it for the past 8 years. But then I saw themselves dressing up as trash, like uncritically just dressing up as garbage and saying, we're garbage. Yeah, we're garbage. And I said, yeah, I think we have a problem. It's like that moment in Scientology when...
Now, mind you, was like hardcore MAGA, and he was invited to the White House when Trump and his regime was squatting there during his term. He had dinner with Kanye, you know, after Kanye made his comments about slavery was a choice. And so just to give you an idea of who this Nick Fuentes is. So now he's like, I don't know. Basically, he probably sees the writing on the wall, and we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. Nobody knows how this is going to turn out. But he's seeing something that is not going to go in their favor, it seems, because like I said, he was like entrenched in MAGA world. And then for him to be saying this right now, I don't know. So what do you think?
So I think that politics as we now know it, aka electoral campaigns, elections, all of that, we'll just put it in one little brown bag, shopping bag. I think it has gone as far as it can go, and the only thing that can happen is we just have to dismantle all of it and start all over again. The name calling has to stop. Donald Trump, just because he has money, or we believe he has money, and can show up somewhere, and somebody's willing to let his big butt climb up into a truck and ride around the yard. I'm sure they didn't take him out on the street. Ride him, pull up, back up, and let him photo op and so that he has the ability to, at 80 years old, climb up into a truck and not trip and fall and break both legs. I'm sick and tired of all of it. I'm sick and tired of grown men acting like kids. So I have to assume that when they were jumping out of trash cans looking like garbage, it must have been on Halloween. It must have been part of their Halloween celebration, because I just cannot imagine that grown men behave like that. And let me just be real candid here. If a grown man in my personal life acted like that, I would have to ask for a divorce, because there's no way you're going to be jumping out of a trash can looking like garbage. There's no way you're going to do this other than if you're doing it for a Halloween costume. And as I said when I first started, I don't celebrate Halloween, so that's a no-no for me.
This is Donald Trump's, I don't know if he's the oldest or middle or whatever. This is Eric Trump, and that's his costume, the trash bag. That is Don Jr. And then that's Megyn Kelly from Fox News. So they're all trying to lean into the trash comment, and yeah, and it like you said, it's very unprofessional. I don't like the way our politics have come to this point. I just don't. I'm all for jokes. I'm all for humor. But for something for office, you got to be professional. People in other countries are looking at us, and it's just like it's so embarrassing. And then I'm thinking, these men that are running around here, these MAGA incels, they're running around here upset about the women having to sneak behind their, why are they sneaking behind our backs and this and that? It's like, well, they are so insecure. I want to remind everybody that during the Republican convention, the Grinder app went down. And I saw a lot of videos of male adult workers in where the convention was. They were making videos and posts about how much business they were getting when the Republican convention came in town. So these men are whining and crying about their wives and girlfriends voting different than they are. Yet, they use and utilize Grinder. Grinder is a gay app. That's what it is. It's a gay app.
So the one thing thus far that has not been taken away from us, it's probably right on the brink, but it hasn't been taken away from us, is I go in the voting booth by myself. My husband don't go in there with me. My man don't go in there with me. My boo don't go in there with me. I go in there by myself. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. You can tell me how to vote, who to vote for, but guess what? When I get in that booth, y'all ain't in there with me, and I can do whatever I want to do. And that's what the Democratic process is supposed to be about. So all these men who want to, take away Roe v. Wade, who want to tell me how to vote, who want to just suppress everything that we as a country, not we as women, but as a country, have fought to get. This is about more than just MAGA, Make America Great Again. This is about control. This is about servitude. This is about all the things that we swear that we resent other countries practicing in their country. So how can you tell other countries, no, you can't, your wife, the women, etc., have to be free to have jobs and make their own decisions about their own bodies. And then here you are in your country not practicing what you preach, but it's sort of like my Nana would say, don't do as I do, do as I tell you to do. So I'm really fed up with all of it. I don't want you telling me who to vote for in the voting booth. I don't want you telling me whether I should have birth. Well, in my case, I can't take birth control anyway. I'm way too old to worry about birth control. But I would assume that those women who are of that age, it's their body. If they want to take birth control, then take birth control. You want to have an abortion, have an abortion.
It's none of our business, and I've always felt that way
It's
too.
none of their business. It's none of
It's
their business.
right, and those people that are trying to tell them what to do, they're not willing to open up their homes. They're not willing to help that woman get her maternity clothes, make sure she gets to the doctor, her prenatal. They don't care about anything about the woman or her. A lot of women have psychological problems during pregnancy. They need assistance. And then when the baby's born, it's like, well, you're on your own. It's just all about a punishment. It's control and punishment to women.
So these same people say, look a woman in the face and say, you're a welfare mother, you're a
Mm.
welfare queen. And now, thanks to, one of the past presidents, in your lifetime, you can only receive welfare for 5 years. After those 5 years, you get nothing else. So here you are telling me what I can and cannot do with my body, and that I should be barefoot and pregnant for the duration. However, if I am barefoot and pregnant and I need to go to the Office of Social Services, I'm not going to get anything. And especially if I have had to reach out to them before. Now you shut that down. I cannot get any help. So how can you on one hand tell me I have to have all these babies to be barefoot and pregnant, and on the other hand tell me, no, you cannot get SNAP. No, you can't get WIC. No, you can't get Medicaid. No, you can't get child health benefits. What is wrong with us? We sound like a bunch of loons, bunch of idiots.
And speaking of loons, I want to play this clip. And like you said, we don't tell anybody who to vote for. That's not our job to do that. Only you know who you want to vote for. But I want to play this clip just to have it where you can make up your own decision. I personally, I don't know. We just got to get through this somehow. But I want to play this clip here. And this is from the Lincoln Project. Let's see here.
And the first word she heard was the word
the C word. Every woman has heard it. From the angry ex. From the asshole boss. It's not a joke to us, but it is to Trump and Elon.
The pro-Trump super PAC launched by Elon Musk posted and then deleted.
Kamala Harris is a C word. You heard that right. A big old C word.
They even end it with "see you next Tuesday." Well, for once, they're right.
And
I personally do not want somebody like that representing me. I mean, we've got a lot of cleaning up to do. This country has a whole lot of cleaning up to do.
So A lot of people say what makes them feel better is an apology. I don't want an apology. I'm going to assume that I know what C word they're talking about. I'm still upset about the B word or the BB word. So, how do we reel back the tape and say that was just a part of dirty politics? I didn't really mean to call you the C word. I didn't really mean to call you the B word. I didn't really mean to call you the NB word. It's just what we do when we're running for office. How do you roll that back? And you have children sitting on the sideline watching that behavior. So explain to me how we can tell our children that's inappropriate language. And they're saying, well, I just saw this man who was the president of these here United States running again use all those words. We have
And
to
go finish. Yeah.
I was going to say, we have to stop with this do as I said do, not as I do. Or do as I do because I said do as I do. I like that better. Do as I do because I said do as I do. So now you got little children on school playgrounds. Oh, that's so sad. You got little children on school playgrounds calling little boys on school playgrounds. That's where I'm gonna go. Little boys on school playgrounds calling little girls the C word. Little boys on school playgrounds, or even in church. Little boys in church who happen to slip out, or mom and dad are talking to pastor, and little boys running around calling little girls the C word or the B word, or depending upon the church, non-denominational, the NB word. So this is ridiculous. And we are supposed to have some frame of moral some frame of moral
Integrity.
integrity. Thank you. Somewhere, some form of moral integrity. Where is it?
Well, speaking of integrity, I want to play one more clip because I really want to get your thoughts on this one. This is what happened. I also don't celebrate Halloween or any of the holidays either, but this was horrible. And speaking of showing, kids were there. It was a Halloween parade, and I'm going to play this and get your thoughts on the other side.
In this video sent to Channel 11 by a viewer, you could see the float that appeared during the Mount Pleasant Halloween parade. You could see people dressed up as Secret Service surrounding a golf cart-style vehicle. Riding in the cart is a person wearing a mask of former President Donald Trump. On the top of the vehicle is a fake sniper.
The worst part of it was the fact that there was either a rope or a chain that was attached to the back of the vehicle, and there was a woman who was to resemble Kamala Harris in handcuffs and chained to the back of that vehicle as though they were dragging her.
This is not a good look. This is simulating a lynching down Main Street in Mount Pleasant.
That's Josh Huff. He was at the parade with his wife and said he was immediately stunned seeing that float.
It was dark. It was like, this has been escalated, way beyond what it should be. Somebody in power had to say, hey, yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
How did this get approved? How did this make it through approval to get in the line to be in the parade and then continue on through the whole parade route?
And that is a legitimate question, and I cannot answer that totally.
The mayor tells me she's meeting with the borough manager and council president and might get the solicitor involved.
After it's already done, I'm not sure that there's much we can do except for going forward.
I reached out to Bill Bratz, the Westmoreland County Republican Committee chair. He sent me a statement saying in part, quote, "We certainly don't condone the simulation of political imprisonment or violence in any context, no matter the party affiliation of those involved."
This needs to stop. In this country, this needs to stop.
The parade is sponsored by the Volunteer Fire Department. There was nobody there when I stopped by this afternoon, and my email has not yet been returned. Reporting in Mount Pleasant, Andrew Havranek, Channel 11.
A volunteer fire department.
So, first and foremost, I would not call the volunteer fire department to come and rescue my burning house. I'll just let the house burn down. Because if that's how you feel, then I can't trust you to come and do anything other than just stand there and watch my house burn down anyway. Because it's, we back to the N word or the C word or the B word. So that more than anything else. The volunteer fire department and the mayor, I assume this woman was the mayor, said there isn't a whole lot that can be done about it because it's after the fact. What do you mean, a mayor woman? It's a volunteer fire department. Dismantle them. Shut them down. Shut them down. I'm sure
that the whole community is in danger if that's the case.
the entire community is in danger, but more than anybody else, our people, if there are any people, this isn't, where is this, Pennsylvania?
That was Wisconsin, I believe.
Oh God, maybe we don't have any of our people up in Wisconsin, but isn't that where what's his face is from? The prospective vice president.
I think so.
So we're in trouble.
But
So
we're in trouble all over because this is another one. Well, it's not a video, but this sheriff, he says, I'm sorry. If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you. And the problem is that I know which of you supports the Democratic Party, and I will not help you survive the end of days. This is a lieutenant sheriff in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot of sheriff departments are saying the same thing all over the country.
And nothing has changed because that's who they were 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and nothing has changed. They have been forced to act as if they have a sense of equity and therefore equality when it comes to the services they provide. But I know better. I know differently, and I know better. And all they're doing now is just showing their true colors.
They've been emboldened.
Very much so. Very much so. But I want to go back to well, he should be fired. And somebody ought to stand up a petition and call for him to be fired. That's number one. Number two, the mayor of that little place, she needs to be unseated. Because you standing there talking about it, you don't think anything can be done because it's after the fact. And whoever that woman was who was walking there in chains, acting as if she was Kamala Harris, I think that she ought to be chased out of town.
There are people that are looking to identify all of the participants and get them handled.
Well, getting them handled is like who did what to Emmett Till, and when were they prosecuted? Who did what to Emmett Till, and when did they go to jail for what they did to Emmett Till? Who did what to Emmett Till, and where are they now? I don't know whether the old Biddy is still alive or not. I know
she passed a couple of years ago, but being handled is what I meant, like losing their job and their livelihood, like the guys that harassed that young man in the neighborhood, chasing him, following behind him, asking him why he was there and all that happened last month. Mm-hmm. They found all of those participants, and the guy he lost his job and everything. So now, ironically, he's going to have to move out of that same neighborhood that the boy was living in.
Yes, but that, to me, that's like a slap on the back of my hand. Oh, you got to move. Or you lost your job. So he loses his job there, but somebody else is waiting to hire him. It's not.
Oh no.
Come on. I've seen this over.
I mean, he might. Now, policemen, like the policeman and the sheriff, yeah, they'll be able to go to another precinct.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what needs to happen is we need to just have a big old billboard, and we need to just put all their pictures up and what they've done, and just shame them. Mm-hmm. Not just say, okay, well, he's going to be chased out of the community. Well, there's some trailer. Oh God, did I say that out loud? I don't mean it in the way I'm going to say it. There's some trailer community where they don't even know what happened. And he can move there. This is not to be offensive to anybody who lives in a trailer community. I have some amazing friends who live in trailer communities. What I'm saying is it's a real good way to get lost. Or you can move to a one-horse town down south somewhere and get lost and continue to practice your behaviors from the past. So until we come up with a way, that's what I think that's what the Holocaust survivors did. They printed pictures and did all kinds of things to say, this is a war criminal. I'm still looking for some current day people to join that list of war criminals. But this is a war criminal, so why can't we do the same thing? We have sex offenders. We have a
Right.
register for sex offenders, and anybody, I can go and call and see if anybody in my neighborhood is on that list.
They
So
actually
why
have
can't
apps that you can download too to
Absolutely,
find them.
absolutely, absolutely. And we should be able to treat them accordingly. You do not come in this neighborhood. You cannot come in this neighborhood. Oh, you bought a house in this neighborhood? We're gonna make your life real unbearable because we're gonna chase you out of this neighborhood.
And on that note, that's our call to action. Actually,
Can I say one more thing, please?
Yes.
Quickly. So somebody just sent me a TikTok of all these women who are out marching, women's marching for their rights or something. So that's very disturbing to me, because when Trump won, 2 days after he won or thereabout, all these women were in DC marching and declaring their freedom and their rights, etc., with their little pink caps on and the whole 9 yards. 57% of them voted for Trump. So how can you vote for Trump and then show up in DC? So these people who are excited about the women who are out in the streets every day until the election, marching and calling attention to the need for them to be able to have their equal rights, are the same people who could easily go into the voting booth, go into the voting booth and vote to put this man in office. I'm not excited by the fact that they're out in the street.
The
I'm not.
same here. I'm not. I'm just waiting until those exit polls, because I don't know if they're gonna. If who understands the assignment? We do, of course, we do. But
Sure.
I'm not going to pop champagne or blow up balloons and celebrate or anything until I see those exit numbers. I want to see the exit polls,
Well,
because
not
we did it. They did it 2 times, 2 election cycles, and yeah, fool me once, fool me twice. No.
Exactly, and not just the exit polls. We still have to wait until January.
True.
'Cause
Oh, it's gonna be a mess.
nothing is finalized until January. So again, I think we really need to rethink the whole process. You send me early voting, you send me absentee voting, you send me to go into the booth and vote, and none of that has any relevance, because now I gotta wait for the exit polls. Exit polls come out. Now I gotta wait for January to see what happens in January. That's just too long a process, and it's too confusing a process, and every piece of it is just another piece to a very, as you said, confusing, painful situation.
Yep.
And
So
then if somebody's unhappy, they get to do what did he do? Al Gore? They get to go to the
cause
Supreme
see,
Court and file a case in the Supreme Court for it to be decided in the Supreme Court. So
and
nothing is final.
we're held hostage by ours. We don't really have a legitimate Supreme Court anymore.
That's right, because if Donald Trump goes to the Supreme Court, you can rest assured that the Supreme Court will decide in his favor. If Kamala Harris goes to the Supreme Court, you can rest assured that the Supreme Court will rule against her. So it's a stacked deck, which is what Donald Trump intentionally did. He stacked all those court systems in his favor.
Yep.
And we sat quietly on the sideline talking about the orange man was a joke.
Nobody ever listens to us, especially Black women. But I mean, we're just gonna have to hold our breath until literally January, which is a shame, because we've already been under too much anxiety. Our mental psyche and physical body is not meant to go through election cycles like this. I just I will never be immune to or having it normalized. This is not the way that the election cycles are supposed to go.
No third world country goes through this much craziness.
Nope. So on that note, we will see you guys this week. We will be doing another podcast during the I think there's what election day is, what today's the 3rd, so the 5th. Okay. Yeah. My birthday is November 7th, so you guys, I want to wake up in a democracy.
Well, 61 million people have already voted. You're too late. 100 million more are expected to vote on Tuesday. There are 161 million registered voters. So Nobody knows the outcome of the 61
Right.
million who've already voted. So I don't know what you're gonna get for your birthday.
Well, I will get to see you. So we will see you guys later. Bye. Thank
Thanks.
you, Miss Kiddish. You look so pretty.
Thank you.